Greetings, programs. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews, where a little bit of a short video, because this is a very simple figure we're looking at, but it's a really cool figure, and I just wanted to throw my 2 cents out there for it. So today we are looking at Armada Scavenger, as well as his Minicon Rollbar. So, really quick, actually, I'm going to look at Rollbar first, and you'll see why in a second. But as you can see, Rollbar turns into just a little, kind of an off-roader, 4x4 looking thing. Pretty simple and straightforward as these Minicons are. His Minicon port's down there. Yeah, pretty well done, actually. I like the molded headlights. The hands kind of hide, looking like, you know, a bumper or something. Seats molded in, which is actually impressive. His wheels do work really well. I only mention that because a lot of these Minicons have like show-only wheels, basically. No, this guy's works. The ones on this guy work really well. So, transforming him, really simple. Let's come up here, open up that cage. Then the seats are actually pegged in to the back of him. So you'll just unpeg those, fold down the legs, and come up here, split the front, and form the arms. And fold the seats back to form the feet and heel spurs. And there you have Rollbar in robot mode. And it's a shockingly good little robot mode for a Minicon. He does have very wide arms, but you know, he looks pretty good. He's got a little elbow joint there. You can rotate the head, because as you can see, it is turned. However, it is ridiculously tight on mine, so like I got to go, and then it stopped, and it's now stuck. So there's that. Legs can go forward that far, back that far. He does have a really good knee bend, and of course you can, you know, move the foot however you need. And cool thing with this guy is go ahead, get him into a, you know, little sitting position here. Grab Scavenger, and you can actually have Rollbar here drive Scavenger in his vehicle mode. Now, worth mentioning, something else worth mentioning, I guess, there is a little notch right here to activate a sound gimmick. I am currently out of the kind of batteries that this guy takes, and yeah, I don't feel like jumping through the million hoops it takes to go get batteries nowadays. So, we're skipping sound gimmicks. But as you can see, Rollbar himself, or not Rollbar, Scavenger himself is this big, very insane looking Mad Max bulldozer thing. Speaker right there. Funny enough, well, I'm sure you'd look at this and go, it's a Constructicon. It's gotta be, you know, a Decepticon. This is an Autobot, actually, in full Constructicon colors, which is very funny in my opinion, actually. A little bit airbrush silver here at the front, which is really cool. That's something you don't see much even still. Forget back then. Just a lot of little random details picked out with paint. Big clicky massive wheel in the back here. This thing too is, you know, trying to activate a sound gimmick with each click, but it can't. And actual rubber treads, and this tread has a little piece so that as you push this forward on the ground, if I can get to work here, or at least get to show, the bucket moves up and down, which also makes the thing go in and out of focus. But yeah, just random weird little gimmicks that are kind of cool. Transforming this guy takes no effort whatsoever, which is one of the things that's fun about figures from this era. So, let's see. First thing you're going to want to do is come up here, just unpeg the treads from the sides right here. Just bring them out a click. Bring up the bucket, and there's these little panels here. You're actually going to fold these up, and let's see, fold that forward. That gets you the clearance to move that flap all the way forward. Same thing over here. That up, that forward, and that will free up an in and out motion on the bucket, which, as you can see, also has, you know, just extra random hinges moving for tech detail. Then you're going to split the bucket in half, and the bucket house will actually, while they're, it's a little hard to explain, but while they're straight, only while they're straight, they will, this piece will, you know, slide over in this clip. It only can do that while they're straight. Whereas now they're going to move to the outside. So fold this panel up, fold this purple piece down and all the way around. And if it hasn't on its own already, grab them on this hinge and just pop it out one for a little more clearance. Down, around. I know, it's a simple transformation, and I'm explaining it as complicated as I can. Go ahead, just bring these up and around. And then, let's see, do that. Just flip the bucket half around, bring it down. Then there's these little pegs sticking out on the side of the giant drum wheel. These will just go ahead and clip on over those. Same thing over here. Bring it forward. See, something's in my way. Forward. Down. And clicked in. There we go. So, next thing you're going to want to do is spin the top half of, or the front half of the vehicle all the way around. Sometimes the cockpit will get in the way as you do that. So, spin it around, fold this piece up, which is where you finally get to see his Autobot insignia. I wasn't lying, he is an Autobot. For dramatic effect, we're going to do the hands really quick. Just fold these two pieces around, form the hands. And then you're going to shift the shoulders up and pull them forward, lock it in place, and there you have Scavenger in robot mode. And yes, he is a great mighty brick, but he's a great mighty brick with a purpose. So before we get to that, go ahead, bring him in close. I do really like that just brute head sculpt he's got. His head can rotate as well, which is nice. As well as you can adjust the little antenna on the side there that doesn't want to focus. Also, warning, I'm going to actually go through a few different cameras after this review, see which one works better. Hopefully I can fix this constant unfocusing. But, so, head turns. He's got a ratcheted outward movement on his arm. Ratcheted rotation. This little piece right here does shift ever so slightly to allow for a little bit of elbow. You do only get those 2 clicks, but it's there. Hand is basically just for show, unfortunately. And he does have a waist rotation because of how he transforms, which is nice. But the thing with this guy is that you can take this weird little drum here and these 2 wheels here that finally hit the ground, and while you roll this guy forward, he walks. Which It's silly, it's pointless, and I think it's really cool. You know, I know there were some G1 guys who were, you know, motorized who could do this. I want to say Omega Supreme was one of them, and maybe Tripticon for the other? I don't know. I'm not super versed in G1, but I know that there were some guys who did that, so it's cool to have, you know, a low-tech, no-battery version of it on this guy. As well as, he does, right here, have a missile, actually. So, the missile activates with the Minicon port here on his side. So, you go ahead and just mangle this guy enough to plug him in. Pop him in, and if I can pull him back a little bit, fires the missile. It is the most plain-looking, you know, red missile, dark red, I've seen. But what's actually cool to point out here is that the smokestack here is actually what's allowing the missile to go in all the way. So, that is actually some clever and pretty neat engineering, and I keep forgetting that this is a missile from the era of this crap only goes in one direction. I'm very glad that later missiles just had a cross, so you just push them in any direction. I don't know why all these things had a T-cross in them back in the day. Worth noting, unfortunately, you're not going to get him to stand, you know, reasonably. He will lean forward at all times. You're probably not going to get to display him in robot mode unless you put something under him down here. You know, have him step on something so he's propped up. Or, heck, maybe just put a piece of tape right here to hold it down. So, that's a bummer. But, overall, you know, while I messed around with it and, you know, was slow to transform him, yeah, it's a simple, straightforward transformation if you remember what you're doing. And it makes for an interesting figure, you know? Yes, he's all gimmick here. But the gimmick is, I think it's kind of neat, you know? I've definitely seen worse figures. He's fun. And the fact that his Minicon can just be a little dude who drives him is really neat, actually. So, yeah, overall, pretty neat set, you know? I like these. I like when the Minicon and the robot have a point in going together. I don't know if these guys were in the show or anything, but I can totally see this guy being the brains, and that's why he has to drive this guy around. So, there's some fun to be had here in just headcanon or possibly real canon, depending on what they did. So, on that note, I will see you guys later. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.